Episode 61. Stop working towards the weekend. It's for rest.
You're listening to the very best podcast in the world on health, wealth, and happiness. Please remember to leave a review and share with all your friends and family. And here is your host, Lars Hilser.
And welcome to episode 61 of the very best podcast in the world, Personal Supremacy Through Health, Wealth, and Happiness. And as you've heard on Friday, Eternal Life, besides many other cool things. So I hope you've been practicing, and getting healthier, and that Friday's exercise was worth your while and led you down a road of looking towards improving your health and, just making your life a little bit longer and qualitatively better. That being said, I hope you've had a nice weekend. And before you start rushing into the week, hoping it's the next weekend, let's take a moment and look at what the weekend is for, because for the longest time, your predecessors and your, what do you call them? Your elderlies, your ancestors, that's the right word. They were pretty much fucked over. They worked at a business many more hours than you have to work today. And they had to do so 7 days a week or more. Well, not necessarily more, but you get the point that I'm, going towards. Labor laws, and, among which was the invention of, or the introduction of the weekend, depending on what religion you belonged to and were born into. Of course, you had your Saturday or Sunday or Friday or, that you were allowed to go to church. But after that, it was time to pick up the shovel again and continue to work. And this kind of then moved into an age of very interesting developments where, particularly the young folks, they were only going to work to get the week to pass, to then go out partying and, get hammered and whatever, the young folks do. I'm old now. But, even when I was in my teens and, early 20s, and I hadn't really focused my life around being successful and, leading the life that I lead now, a similar constellation was true for me. What the fuck do you go to school for? To get the 5 days over so that on Saturday, or Friday evening, you could go out partying, and on Saturday evening, you could go out partying. And on Sunday, you were so, still left alcoholized and drunk and hammered and stoned and baked and whatnot, that you needed the Sunday essentially to recover, the second half of it after you've had your lunch. And on weekends, you didn't get anything done. Never. It never happened. And this is actually a really, really, really gift you all should be very grateful for, because, a lot of people were probably killed in the process of leading up to this development and the current situation that we live in that, pretty much on Friday afternoon, the offices are swept empty. On Saturday and Sunday, everybody's out on family barbecue and dinners and galas and whatnot, just having fun and entertaining themselves. And we forget that, the weekend can be used for productive purposes, right? And the more I went into these circles of people with a lot of money, the more centricity was about Damn, we've got this function on Saturday, and on Sunday I've got a golf meeting at lunch and or after lunch and in the golf country club or whatever. And it really led to this thing in this sphere in my head, which, well, let's call it like a glory hole, because all of those first world problems I just dumped in there, and for me, came the point of reflection in my mid 30s, as I already told you, where I kind of determined for myself that I don't need that life, despite the fact that I could have, easily been there by now, maybe another 10 years. And it was just my determination to kind of step out and say, okay, I've got enough to survive decently and I'm out. But still, a lot of people from my, of the folks that I grew up with, that's kind of like the life for them. It's like packing their weekend full of events and entertainment and whatnot, so that, it's not necessarily for themselves. That's the bizarre thing. On Monday, they'll go back to the office and spend half a day and lunch bragging to their colleagues all of the shit that they've done on the weekend. While I was always like, when somebody asked me, what did you do on the weekend? I was like, well, I, kicked back, laid on the couch, I don't know, went for a walk, smoked a pipe, had a glass of whiskey. Maybe I played some computer games if time permitted. But other than that, I was really busy doing mental work, writing a lot of the content that are in my blogs, some of them which have gone into the memory hole over the course of time. Then, it was just busy in a positive sense. I was relaxing more than anything else. I think generally the activities that I conducted over the weekend could be put into the relaxing / wellness department. On Sundays, we would always go to chill out into the sauna, and then began an all new week. That was that. And I think, and that's why, I kind of did this episode on a Monday. It's to decelerate you and encourage you to, use the week for productivity and the weekend to actually relax. And so that you can on Monday, start over, and stop the whole talking at the coffee bar thing in your office about what you've done on the weekend, and be proud of the fact that you did nothing, because there's nothing better really, to do than nothing, and to relax and to re-energize and, prepare yourself for the struggles that will inevitably come in the next week. And this will then lead to a kind of like floating away of the, I don't know, monotonous office life that you're having. Because let's face it, the stories you share on Monday are always the same. Get over it. You're not impressing anyone. And in that sense, the monotony, the mediocrity of the office life will just start to float away. You'll get a lot of shit done, a lot of more shit than you would have, if you jam packed the weekend with things you wanted to do, or you did, and then you will inevitably feel more relieved and relaxed when you go back to work on Monday. And in fact, it will, if you use the weekend to recharge your batteries sufficiently, it'll allow you to start a side hustle and to be way more productive in your life, and not only in your office job, but in your life entirely throughout the week. That you'll really, really, really start to see a difference. And I think that was an easy start into our, I don't know, what week is it that we're doing this? I have no idea. Forgot, honestly. I know it's the 61st episode, and so must have been, 5, 6, 7, whatever weeks. It's fun for me from the beginning, and the fun hasn't decreased. Your supporting emails have been good and great, and I'm very grateful for the support that you send. The download numbers are increasing, and I'm just happy that the messages that my short, incoherent ramblings deliver are interesting enough for you guys to continue listening. And thanks for your support. Now, since you have probably been out partying, well, no, not we've got the Rona, so you weren't out partying, but you were, at home relaxing, hopefully. Let this be a very, very, very productive week for you. It's almost Christmas, so on Thursday, Santa Claus is coming. Keep that in mind. And what else? If you have already had your very, very, very successful day, have a good night. And for you guys, it's even one day less until Santa Claus puts his fat butt down the chimney. And in all cases, I hope that everybody's doing good. And as always, feedback, criticism, encouragements, and whatever, please email to the very best podcast in the world at gmail.com. In that sense, peace out, and I shall see you again tomorrow.